From his smashing knockout win over Lucas Matthysse to unleashing a barrage of 1,200 punches in an hour-long bout, here's why fighters are terrified of Manny Pacquiao. I'll start with the fight that proved that Pac-Man still had it in him. You guessed it, I'm talking about what happened in 2018. For those of you who don't know, come on now, how could you forget Manny's absolutely brutal knockout win over Lucas Matthysse, aka The Machine? That's what they call a fight to remember. For one, I bet Lucas won't ever forget that devastating left uppercut. The very uppercut that helped Pac-Man win the bout in the 7th round. But it wasn't just about winning. No, the legend showed up to prove that he was still at the top of his game. Manny hadn't had a knockout win since 2009, from when he delivered a crushing blow to Miguel Cotto. Between 2009 and 2018, the Filipino fighter's fans started losing hope in him. They thought he was losing his skills. But he came in and destroyed the Machine and silenced the critics. Manny knew he was pretty great. All he needed was some time to rediscover that greatness. But this isn't the only reason why most fighters cower in fear when they hear Manny's name. No, there's another one that goes way back to 2013. Yep, that's a hint for his fight against Bam Bam. In 2012, Manny faced his long-term rival, Juan Manuel Marquez, for the 4th time, and though everyone was rooting for Pac-Man to be the hero who took the trophy home, that's not how things turned out. Poor Pac-Man was the victim of a very powerful knockout delivered by the one and only Marquez. And you know what that means. When a powerful fighter like Manny takes such a devastating hit, he has to prove that it was just a blip. A year passed, and now it's 2013. The Filipino fighter was paired up in a fight against Brandon Bam Bam Rios, and boy oh boy, was that a bam indeed. You bet every other fighter who watched that bout unfold knew not to doubt the Pac-Man's abilities ever again. Sure, the fight against Marquez might have made them think Manny had lost his charm, but turns out he hadn't. And maybe that's exactly what fills up the hearts of most fighters with intense fear when it comes to Manny. That no matter how many times he's pushed down or knocked out, he knows exactly how to find his footing again. Now focus back on the fight against Rios. What exactly happened in this bout? Well, there's no doubt about Bam Bam's obviously powerful fighting style, but this hunk of muscle had nothing on the Filipino. He couldn't even figure out how to hit the Pac-Man. Why? Credit goes to Manny's genius circling strategy. The Pac-Man kept moving in circles around Rios, so even if Bam Bam wanted to deliver a good punch, he simply couldn't. All that power became useless. Eventually, Pac-Man's excellent footwork and amazing speed helped him win the fight by unanimous decision, and Bam Bam was left unanimously bammed. Speaking of unanimous decisions, it's time for a more recent throwback, flashback to January 2019. When Pac-Man won by unanimous decision against Adrian Broner. This fight showed that even though the Filipino was nearing 40 now, age was just a number for him. Because damn did he give Broner a hard time. Right from the beginning, Pac-Man launched an onslaught of quick jabs and flurries, never once hesitating as he threw punch after punch. Poor Broner indeed. There's only so much a man can take. But you know what was an absolute genius move on Manny's part? It's how he kept moving his head. The result? Broner had an incredibly difficult time hitting his moving target. Pac-Man was like a ninja, dodging whatever his opponent tried to throw at him. With the Filipino's offense-based strategy, he ended up holding Broner against the cage's ropes several times. And you know, with Pac-Man, it's never just about how much you can dodge and how many punches you can throw. It's also about never letting the other fighter have even a small chance to get a hit. This way, Manny prevented Broner from gaining any momentum, and in the end, the judges declared Manny the winner by unanimous decision. Okay, just forget about these great fights for a moment. Did you know Manny was the first boxer to win in a total of 8 weight divisions? With that many dominating wins under his belt, is it really a surprise that he makes other fighters cower in fear when they hear his name? Pac-Man has a total of 12 world titles in these 8 divisions. Remember that fight I mentioned a couple of minutes earlier against Lucas? Well, it wasn't just any ordinary win. In fact, it helped Pac-Man earn the WBA welterweight championship title. And not just that, Manny made his countrymen quite proud when he accomplished that 12th title win. After the win, he displayed great humility when he said, "I hope I brought a convincing victory and honor to the country." What's more, Pac-Man had plenty to say about this historic fight. According to him, he knew that he controlled all the cards in that fight. In his mind, the fight was his to win. But the key was to stay patient and stick to his strategy, and look at the results. His plan sure did work. But he didn't just earn massive victories in various 8 divisions. No, the Pac-Man has won the lineal championships too. Manny's the first ever boxer to win the lineal championships in not 1, not 2, but 5 different weight classes. Damn, he really is something, no? Even though he's had a pretty up and down career, he's always bounced back. And not just that, he's set record after record by being a pro in almost every weight division in the world of boxing. But you know what's the best part about these achievements of his? It's how he won major world titles in 4 of the 8 glamour divisions. In case you're wondering which ones those are, fret not. Manny won titles in the flyweight, featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight categories. Talk about a man who's a master of all trades, huh? No wonder other fighters have a hard time mustering the guts to face Pac-Man in the cage. The Filipinos have a history of being the greatest, and it strikes a great fear in the hearts of others. But you know what? All of these achievements have got me thinking. Exactly what separates Manny from other fighters? Well, it all ultimately boils down to how Pac-Man fights. Did you notice a pattern in all the fights I've mentioned today? The one thing that sets Manny apart from other fighters in the game? It's how the Filipino has a finesse for doubling down on his offensive strategies. In every fight, he manages to make sure his opponents never get a chance to hit him. While Manny tries not to get hit, he also makes sure he delivers smashing punches to his opponents. Did you know that in one bout, the Pac-Man threw around 100 punches each round? And the bout was 12 rounds long. A little mental math will help you see that that's a total of 1,200 punches in one fight. God, isn't that super cool? But I'm not mentioning it because of that. The fact shows that the Filipino fighter has great stamina, and that's what makes it so hard to fight against him. He has insane skills when it comes to speed. It allows him to dodge punches left and right. Not just that, it also helps him to throw punches that no one anticipates coming. So in short, Manny's always got the element of surprise. And then there's his absolutely excellent footwork. Remember how I talked about the circling technique he used against Bam Bam? Yeah, that's all thanks to his footwork. But the most incredible thing about Pac-Man is how tough he is. No matter how strong his opponents are, he never lets that get him down. In fact, it fires him up even more. That's why once he's hit in the ring by a fighter, he bounces back in an instant with a rage you don't want to be at the receiving end of. And that's a wrap on why fighters are scared of Manny Pacquiao.